Like most of you here, I've lived in Eastern Kentucky all my life, an area engulfed in culture, but not one that I ever felt connected to. That is, until I began researching for this project. Things I had never realized were shared experiences began to jump out at me. The quilt that I made in elementary school, the Loretta Lynn CD that I never turned off. I realized that I had a community I had never known. Hi panel, I'm Bailey.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Megan.
I'm Ava.
I'm Fish.
And this is the Hazel Green Cultural Center.
On the outskirts of Wolfe County lies what is currently known as the Hazel Green Academy. For over 100 years, HGA served as a residential private school, but unfortunately, in 1983, it closed. The campus remained sitting for several years with no maintenance, causing irreparable damage. Luckily, in 1985, a group of alumni partnered with Hazel Green Christian Church and bought back their campus. There are 5 indoor and 3 outdoor spaces that we will utilize in our project. The Jotham Down building is currently operating as a used clothing store. The auditorium has undergone a restoration phase led by the Hazel Green student leadership team at Craft Academy, who hope to use it as an event space. The upstairs of the administration building is currently being used as a space for alumni to display any memorabilia they may have from their time at the academy. The Ford building and the basement of the administration building are the other 2 buildings we will utilize, both of which have been abandoned since the campus's close. We will also utilize the tennis court, the farm space, and the walkways that run through campus.
The Hazel Green Cultural Center encourages education, school outreach, and aims to bring life back to Appalachian culture. The Jotham Down will be transformed into a country store to market locally made and handcrafted items unique to Appalachia. The old administration building will be turned into a museum to incorporate pieces of Appalachian culture while also displaying memorabilia from the original Hazel Green Academy. The lower level of the admin building will become the craft center. This will house a variety of regional crafts like pottery, quilting, and the rotational artist spotlight. Adjacent to the museum and the craft center is the Music on the Green auditorium. It is a unique addition to the Hazel Green Academy, providing space for local musicians, films, and events while creating revenue for the community. Moving forward, the walking trail offers many location markers, taking participants back in time with photos and facts. The Ford building will be turned into a restaurant that offers a wide selection of country home-style meals using produce from the Hazel greenhouse. The Ford restaurant will provide opportunities for local culinary students to gain hands-on experience. The greenhouse is the addition to the old HGA farm. It will have the capability to fully sustain the restaurant with produce. And finally, the tennis court will be turned into a hoedown square. The square will bring back traditional Appalachian dance by housing events and classes. The Hazel Green Cultural Center will target middle schools for educational purposes, be an ideal event venue for the community, and be completely handicap accessible.
In order for this idea to become a reality, we have created a timeline for the Hazel Green Cultural Center renovation. Our business will undergo a 3-year restoration divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 will consist of securing and approving finance and permit procurement. In order to do this, we will be meeting with stakeholders for these approvals. We will also be finishing up the final restorations and openings of the country store, auditorium, museum, and craft center for the public. Moving on to phase 2, we will continue working on finance and permit procurement. Renovations will continue, which will then lead to the opening of the Ford restaurant in the Hoedown Square. And finally, phase 3 will primarily focus on building and opening the greenhouse.
The low-income area that Hazel Green Cultural Center is located gives the business a purpose to promote the economy in Wolfe County and give opportunities to the future of Appalachian culture, education, and arts. The emerging need for a cultural center in Eastern Kentucky is growing due to the limited number of educational resources and similar attractions. Often we forget how necessary it is to be able to express creativity and views through art. HGCC students will have the opportunity to participate in crafts to aid in self-expression. The need also ranges further than expression. The Cultural Center will eventually make culture accessible to a wide audience, shedding light to parts of our culture that are less well known or misunderstood. We will portray this by partnering with local attractions and creating social media ads and web pages. The media will be an opportunity to convey our ideas and market what Hazel Green Cultural Center has to offer schools and the community.
Along with these opportunities, there are also several threats that we are aware of. First, we will be a new nonprofit business. We rely on the hope that people will want to visit. However, this shouldn't be an issue because Hazel Green Cultural Center will offer something for everyone. Secondly are our two competitors, Red River Gorge and the Wolfe County Historical Museum. Instead of looking at them as competitors, though, we choose to look at these as potential partners.
HGCC is a beneficial experience, and it will be a great educational opportunity. It is used to primarily target Kentucky academic history and art standards. Not only will it benefit students, but it will also be beneficial to the community. We would like to utilize HGCC as an outreach to the community to not only learn about Appalachian culture, but also bring revenue to a diminishing economy. This then leads me to Wolfe County, where the Cultural Center is located. This area gets a lot of traffic from tourists due to Red River Gorge, so we believe that our business is in a good area that will bring in a lot of people. And lastly, HGCC is very unique to any cultural center. Not only is it a museum to display Appalachian history, but as well as Hazel Green Academy memorabilia. It is also an area that displays many different types of culture, such as food, dance, art, and even more.
But with every strength comes its own set of weaknesses. The location is unique, yes, but it is still out of the way for your average supply drivers. Not to mention nonprofits have a 30% fail rate after 10 years. How will we keep interest in the center afloat after its initial opening? All of these are the realities we must face to create a profitable and lasting company. Luckily, our business will rely on educational tourism. It is estimated that the market for educational tourism will exceed $390 billion within the next year.
As a young nonprofit business, we plan to market our organization to middle schools through an educational roadshow, our website, and informational articles. Once stable, we will scale up to include all K-12 schools. We will then expand our market to through traffic, highlighting our restaurant opening through billboards and tourism partners. We will have a paid public relations role to help alleviate concerns of not having time or resources to advertise.
To incorporate technology and make the information easily accessible, we plan to create a website with any potential information visitors may need or want. The website's core features start with events and classes held at Hazel Green, the history of the Academy, the location and contact information for Hazel Green, and general information including a welcome page. Of course, we must consider how our project may change, and be prepared for this. We have full access and control over the website. This is especially beneficial for any important changes that occur. For instance, construction, event cancellation, or just a sale at the general store. Overall, the website will be informative and serve as advertisement for the entire center.
In addition, we have also gathered what a typical operation will look like at HGCC. At the start of operations, Hazel Green Cultural Center will be open every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with the exception of holidays. The day-to-day operation period will be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the beginning, HGCC will be seeking business primarily for middle school students near or within Wolfe County. The Hazel Green Public Relations Officer will reach out to these schools to schedule an educational field trip. As we expand, we hope to lengthen operation hours and extend the days of the week that we are open. With the transition of longer operation hours, we hope to increase the number of public tours we welcome by expanding the market to all.
The addition of Hazel Green Cultural Center will aid in the preservation and spread of Eastern Kentucky's Appalachian culture, along with diversifying the job market in Wolfe and other surrounding counties. Hazel Green Cultural Center will provide opportunities for a disadvantaged area, generate revenue in a dying economy, and promote the education of a rediscovered history.
Throughout my life, I've carried a buried resentment towards the place I grew up, wishing for a different accent or a cooler cuisine. But the Hazel Green Cultural Center has made me proud to be from Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky. Many say that Kentucky needs a sweeping wave of industrialization, but that's not what makes Kentucky great. Kentucky is great because it's home, a place where we talk with a twang and we pass a smile to a passerby. I now know that Eastern Kentucky is a place to be proud of, and I know that the Hazel Green Cultural Center can instill these same values in students just like me. Thank you, panel. Once again, I'm Bailey.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Megan. I'm Ava.
I'm Fish.
And we are the creators of the Hazel Green Cultural Center.
Sorry about the website.
You're going to pull up the website? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try and get it. I don't know what happened.
That's all right. Technology.
Okay.
I don't know.
You spelled your name wrong. Yep. Oh, interesting.
I don't know the URL.
Okay,
It's on my laptop.
perfect. Yeah. Well, should it not be in the video? Can you see it on the video?
Do you mean?
The URL.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I don't know. Technology's really working on us today.
While she's working.
Well, I was going to say, while she's got that working on that, another one, like you guys made an impression the first time around with the green and the teamwork and all that. I know you've, probably rehearsed this a gazillion times, but I'm really impressed with how the support that you give one another during the presentation really comes off the stage, and that's great. And that means a lot to investors, right? They kind of want to know that they're getting a team that can work together. Nice job with that. I also really like that you've got measurable goals. Really important, and goes a long way. And the tourism tie-in, I think it's really there, and I'm glad that you are thinking hard about that too, and thinking of your competitors as potential collaborators, especially in the tourism world.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to comment that it was absolutely very well done, very well presented. You guys have definitely practiced. And you're very well spoken. I can tell all of you are bright and very well spoken on stage. A lot of confidence in your presentation. Good concept and well explained. Very convincing presentation. The sustainability and the viability of it, that we could probably debate that, but it is a good concept, and I think what you're trying to do is a good thing. Getting it to 60 middle schools, not sure how we get from here to there, but I hope that can be done. Very well presented. Do you have a concept of how it will expand going from a school or two to 60? How does that happen?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, our scaling plan just kind of as it, okay. So we plan to scale up from the middle schools in the surrounding area. So directly surrounding Wolf County, there are 8 middle schools. However, when you spread out into Appalachia, there's hundreds, of course. So after we target those middle schools, which would be mostly our first year, so phase 1, we would then move to all of K through 12 schools. So that mostly would be done through our marketing plan, which is aligned with website promotion, but mostly our public relations officer and president's direct contact with these schools, school boards, administrative officials, just because that direct human connection is often a really great way. Also, financial resources for students who might not be able to take a field trip here. We actually have names of grants that would be viable for these schools to apply to so that they could make a trip. And then for concerns about generating revenue after that, it would be a lot more heavily reliant on our restaurant. So once we have the restaurant fully functional, we'll begin to market further to through traffic and also people swinging through, because Hazel Green Cultural Center is on the way to Red River Gorge. So stop in, come to the country store, come get a bite to eat, and then go on to Red River Gorge. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want me to go ahead and show the website?
Yes.
Okay. So this is our homepage. Just have a little bit of the history of the Academy. These are different performers from Eastern Kentucky and Appalachia, and just some contact information. We have our educational opportunities in one section. So this has all of our learning resources here, different sectors of the cultural center, community events, it has these same things, but clickable links, and then the contact us page where they can directly contact our business. So that's all I got. Sorry.
Great job. You guys are all very great presenters. You work very well together as well. So thinking about, Red River Gorge being such a large tourist attraction in that area, it is going to be really important for you all to do that community outreach. I do think starting with the schools is a great place. That's almost guaranteed business if they bring them your way. So I love the way that you've also phased this out into 3 different years for your growth. You can tell that a lot of time and effort has been put into this, so great job.
Yeah, the growth plan, we were able to talk with a business professor at Morehead State University, and she kind of gave us some insight on why we should, originally we had it scaled to just 1 year in all of our phases, and she told us, well, there's sprinklers that you need to install, and there's permits that you need to procure, and all of these like little business details that we weren't necessarily thinking of when we were just looking at our baby, the big picture, but then meeting with her, we were able to get down to those like fine details, and so that was the reason for kind of scaling that outward a little.
Yeah, that's where my question was coming in with the phases, was how tight is that if something goes wrong, it takes too long to get a permit, or I know when you're renovating older buildings, there can be issues that you don't discover till you start doing it. This could go from a 3-year thing to 6 years, I mean, with just a couple things happening. So how tight is that timeline, and how does that impact, if it goes more years, how does it impact your business?
Right. So that's always a possibility, but something really awesome about our project is that we've already been able to talk to a bunch of contractors and get real time estimates, cost estimates. Also, we've been able to have engineers come and inspect the buildings, and so we know pretty much what's going on, our time frame. If it is a longer period, we'll have an investment fund tied into bonds. So that revenue, any revenue that we're generating there, can be put directly back into furthering our renovations, so extending that time period that we have.
Again, very impressive presentation. Y'all are great speakers. I really enjoyed it. One thing I heard you say, there's a threat is that you'll have to rely on the hope that people will want to visit. So it's very true as a nonprofit. Is there something small that you guys could do now, maybe even for no money, that could help you to figure out what people are wanting and what would make them want to visit?
We have done a little bit of surveying just on a Wolf County basis, and also we've been looking into some research data that we found. Art and history educational tourism attractions are actually quite popular. The more of the relying on the hope that people want to visit is the location. We see big attractions like Lake Cumberland and Churchill Downs, but those are all towards the west, central Kentucky. So eastern Kentucky, it's a newer area to break into. So relying on the hope that they would want to break into that area. But also, yeah, I mean, there's definitely more that we could do on the account of surveying, and that's definitely a big part of our next steps would be to talk to people directly and continue.
Yeah, and just to add on to that a little bit, there are currently people that do come on and off of campus. Like we said, the Jot 'em Down currently is in business as a used clothing store run by Mrs. Rita Rogers. So there are already some people that know of the campus and where it's located, and are hearing the whispers of kind of the renovations that'll be happening over the next little bit.
I'm just curious, is Hazel Green, is that a person?
No.
Do you know the history? Okay, go ahead.
So Hazel Green is the name of the city that it's in. So.
Is that named after a person?
No.
It was actually endorsed by a governor's wife from like the 1800s. So it was literally just named after the county.
Yeah.
Or the town. It was not named after her at all. She was the governor's wife who really pushed for a school to be like a ministry of the mountains, because Appalachia during that time was pretty bare.
And her name is
Hazel Green?
No, she just named it after the county it was in. Yeah.
City, it was
Or
in.
city, sorry.
Nothing to do with the presentation, but isn't there a famous person from Hazel Green that has toured and did a lot of,
I haven't heard of it.
talked about the Hazel Green Bullfrogs, toured college campuses. Y'all know who that is?
Different Hazel Green. Sorry. This one I'm getting intel. It's different Hazel Green.
Oh, it's a different Hazel Green.
Yeah.
Not on the Mountain Parkway Hazel Green? Oh, I'm off.
You're
Sorry.
fine. You're totally fine.
I thought it
Yeah.
was the Mountain Parkway off the Mountain Parkway Hazel Green. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're all good. We do have this little diorama of what it'll look like. If anybody
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
want to
look
maybe
at
want
it
to
a
pick
little
up
bit,
the
we can-
admin building and show them the fort.
Yeah, there's a building in the way.
the Ford building.
That would be the restaurant building down here that it was covering.
The greenhouse in the back.
And then if you guys can see, there's also the greenhouse back there.
Awesome.
Any more questions, anyone? No? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you guys.